Okay, as well as traditional 120 medium format, the 6.7 also lets you shoot 35mm film. So that gives you a Hasselblad X-Pan size frame. So it's 24 by 68. As I say, it's slightly larger than X-Pan. You can also shoot a slightly wider to include your sprocket holes, which is about 31 by 68. So your 6.7 camera comes with adapters to mount 35mm film in the camera, as well as 2 frame masks. One just labelled Pano is your sort of traditional X-Pan format Pano. One labelled Pano S is that format with the sprocket holes being exposed. So say it's a slightly wider frame mask. So that's a personal choice, whatever format however you want to shoot your roll of film. So to load your film, you take your 35mm. This is a 400 roll of foamer. So the adapters are slightly different. One has a deeper section than the other. So the shallower one goes on the top of the film canister, and that just pushes in place, goes like that, and the other one goes on the bottom. So you end up with a 120 format size 35mm roll essentially. So again, loading is the same as with your 120 roll. So you can pull that up. This is a sprung spindle in the bottom. So again, we're going to wrap the film around the roller onto the front. So you don't put your film in that way, because what you'll do is you'll end up red scaling your film. If you've got colour film in, you'll expose through the back of it. So you want to make sure your film is flipped over that way. This is the emulsion side. That's the bit that's going to get exposed. The lighter side of the film. So if we just pull that out, drop that in. So you've then got that in place. That's tight. This has gone back in flat. So you know this is flush. You can close that down now. So with your film, you can pull it over the top, and then it goes between these white marks here, and there's rubber rollers on this, so it'll grip onto the film. So we then pull it over, oops, and then like we did with the 120, just tuck it in. Just hold it as you wind it. I'll make sure it's in the right position with the rollers. That's it. And then pull it through. Or miss, yeah, depends what you want to do. And then pull it through. And just hold it on the film as you wind it on. It'll just get a little bit of tension. You can straighten it up on the rollers there, so you know that's in the centre then between those 2 white markers. And that's now your film ready to go. You can obviously wind it on. Obviously all this film is being exposed to light. We're going to wind on, so it's okay. What you can do, if you want, you can line up your little marks there. So pick your mask. So I'll use the standard Pano here, which doesn't expose the sprocket hole. So if we drop that in place and down, you can see there, this is clipping the sprocket holes. So you've got just an open piece of film, if you like. The other mask gives you the sprocket holes included in the exposed part. So it depends what you're going for with your images. So if we just go with that one, for example, so that's now loaded, ready to go. I can put it now back in this, so it's completely light tight. Don't take this off when you've got 35mm film loaded, because 35mm film doesn't have the backing paper like 120. So if I do that, that's going to expose the back of the film through that window. So you must leave this in place all the time. Ideally, I'd say keep the one that comes with the camera in it. It's a felt backed piece, so it's tight. It's not going to come out accidentally. Whereas a card back on a film tab may come loose. So basically, all we're going to do is we're going to wind counterclockwise again, like 120. And we just keep winding. So there's 1 turn, and we go 2 turns, and we're now at our first frame. The film is now wound on, so we've got a completely fresh piece of film under here. I won't take the dark side out because this isn't a test roll. And we're now ready for frame 1. And as we did for 6x7, we can use the manual frame reminder for 35mm as well. It basically, 35mm in X-Pan format gives you 18 frames to a roll, to a 36 exposure roll. So you can go right through all the way to the end, and that's your whole film shot. At the end of your roll, you'll know because the tension don't force it. If when you wind on, when you get to the end, you will find that there's tension there. You won't be able to wind on further. If you wind further, you do risk damaging your film, like with all 35mm film cameras. So when you feel that tension, or if you've got to frame 18 on your counter, that's the end of your roll. All you need to do to rewind your film is you lift this rewind tab up like that, and there's a little wheel on the top to hold, and the arrows on there point clockwise. So that's for rewind your film, and you just wind that back. And what you'll see is this turns and the wheel turns, so you know that you're winding back, and that's your film now coming back. And when you feel a little pull, that means it's come off the tab, and that's it. Now when this stops turning, your film has completely come off the take-up spool. So if you want to leave a leader out for loading your film into a tank, you'd stop there. If you're not bothered about that, you just keep winding, just to make sure all the film's rewound in. Depends how you want to do your development or for sending it away. So if we take this out now, you can see there, this will come right off the 120 spool. So the film is now sort of essentially rewound. So you can go further. This is a new film, so I'm not going to wind it right back into the canister, but this, you could wind right back into the canister there, and you've got your film ready to go. And then to take it out, all you do is you pull this out, this sprung, remove that. You can take these adapters off, and that's now ready for development. Whether you do it yourself or you're sending it away, that's now ready to go. Yeah, so that's 35mm film in the 6x7. As I say, you get 18 frames to a standard 36 exposure roll of film. Yeah, so they're your two film format types on the 6.7. I'll show you using the lens now.